I've been looking at electric unicycles and floatboards for years. I watched all the videos, read all about them on the internet, but I couldn't decide. In the end, the floatboard just looked cooler, so I pulled the trigger and that's what I bought first. Right out of the box, I was impressed. The packaging was perfect, the fit and finish just beautiful. The design was super sleek, like something you'd see in a high end tech showroom. And in crowded places like a downtown area or a park, it's awesome. You can pretty much come to a standstill on it, which makes it super manageable around pedestrians, and it's easy to learn too. I've let friends hop on and figure it out in under 10 minutes. And for the size, the range is honestly pretty solid. But it's not without flaws. Let's talk about the front foot pad sensor. It's mainly there to activate the motor when you first get on, when the board is upright and balanced. Once you're moving at more than a crawl, the sensor stops being as important to my understanding. But if it fails, the board won't engage at all. You'll go to lean forward and the board just won't move because it doesn't know you're standing on it. Or in the other situation, the board could think you're standing on it when you're not, and it could just ride away. That's known as ghosting. It is a small thing, but it's definitely a failure point you won't have on a lot of other personal electric vehicles. Also, speed-wise, the floatboard does feel slow, especially after riding my electric unicycle. It just doesn't compare. And while there's no audible speed alarm, it does have a feature that lifts the nose when you're approaching performance limits. It's subtle, and if you're not paying attention to it, you can miss it. I've been thrown off my floatboard twice in about 400 miles. One time was definitely my fault. I was leaning too far into some acceleration, and it just tossed me off. The other time, I was low on battery, cruising at about 16 miles per hour, and the board just shut down without warning. It just stopped, laid me out in the middle of the road. Since then, I pretty much stay in my own neighborhood with it, and I don't ride over 15 miles per hour. The trust just isn't there anymore. Another thing about the floatboards is there's really only one major company producing them in the United States, so innovation is pretty limited to whatever they decide to release. There are some other options around the world trying to break into the market, but they're not as accessible. One more issue is foot fatigue. Since you can't lift your foot while riding, it starts to hurt pretty fast, and after a few miles, your feet are begging for a break, or at least mine were. So eventually I wanted more. I looked at more powerful floatboards, but I kept coming back to electric unicycles, and finally I went for it. To be honest, I've been hooked ever since. I didn't start small either. I went straight for a high performance electric unicycle. After the issues I had with the floatboard, not having the power to keep up with some of my mistakes, such as leaning into acceleration more than the board could keep up, or potentially running at a higher speed than the board could keep up at 20% battery. I just wanted another PEV, or a personal electric vehicle, that had the headroom and the torque that could compensate for the fact that I am not a perfect human being. So I went and picked up the Leaperchem Veteran Patent. This thing is a beast. Where the floatboard topped out and felt sketchy, this thing just cruises. I can go over twice the speed of the floatboard, and I'm just using 70% of the power of this thing. And that extra headroom gives you a huge boost in safety and confidence. In 2,000 miles, it's never let me down. The ride is smooth, responsive, and way more comfortable. I can lift a foot while riding too, which makes a big difference on a long ride. And if I want to, I can even sit down while moving. It's just wild. There's also way more innovation in this space. There's multiple manufacturers, frequent updates, and better competition all around. And for trail riding, it's in a different league. Hills, roots, off-road terrain, no problem. Plus it's got a handle that lets you roll it around like a suitcase, which is a huge bonus when you're off the wheel. Okay, so it's not perfect. First off, let's just put this out there. These things are heavy. Way heavier than a floatboard. And in really crowded areas with lots of foot traffic, the board also still has the edge. The learning curve, way steeper. Like 10 times harder to pick up the electric unicycle, but once you get it, is totally worth it. I started with a more advanced wheel like the veteran patent because I didn't want to grow out of it. And yeah, it made the learning process harder, but it paid off. If you're learning, ride on grass, wear tall boots, and if you lose your balance, just let it go. Don't try to save the wheel as a new rider. If it spins up and hits your leg, it's going to leave a mark. Trust me, I know. Oh, and this charger here, this is my Pidzoom. Just for transparency, I did get this Pidzoom charger at a discounted rate to feature it in this video, but everything I'm saying here is based on my own real experience. Every unicycle, or mostly every unicycle, is going to come with a basic charger, and they work fine, but this thing, it's portable, it charges fast, and the tech is just a step above. It's got a full touchscreen interface where you can dial in exactly how you want it to charge. So you're going to set the voltage to the voltage you want to charge to. You can choose the amps or the speed you want to charge at. So whether you're trying to preserve battery life or just need a quick top off, this thing does it all. It also works across multiple electric unicycles and personal electric vehicles. So if you've got more than one ride, you're covered. The design is clean, lightweight, and super easy to carry. I've been using it on all my rides like this, where I'm stopping at a friend's house. It's crazy convenient to just top off on your charge. Pidzoom's customer support is also next level. Super responsive, helpful, and fast. It just feels like a premium experience from top to bottom. I'll drop a link to where you can get one in the description if you want to check it out. So here's my verdict. The Floatboard is awesome for short rides, tight spaces, and areas full of pedestrians. It's got a great design and is fun at low speeds, as long as it doesn't cut out on you. But the electric unicycle, that's what I ride 98% of the time. It's faster, safer, more powerful, more versatile, and just way more fun overall. Living a couple miles outside of a small town definitely plays a role in that. My local town's around 20,000 population. Keep in mind, I've got long stretches of open road, mixed terrain, and more space to explore. In that kind of environment, the extra speed, range, and trail capability of the electric unicycle makes it a clear winner for me in my situation. If you're deciding between the two, think about where you want to ride and the kind of experience you want. For me, the electric unicycle wins almost every time.